That's wrapping it up, kind of. They've added a new Covenant vehicle to a couple new vehicles, but the main one is the Locust. It's kind of like a miniaturized Scarab. It's got its own little shield generator.
Yeah, it's basically it's a miniature Scarab that has a shield generator, but it isn't really good at all versus infantry and actually against any of the.
It's a building killer.
It's just used for buildings, which is pretty good. But
yeah, it's pretty good. Like if you've got, you can upgrade it to where it has an overdrive ability, where it uses its own shield to power up its little laser. So, which is a bad thing too, because the stronger the beam gets, the lower your shield goes. So, I don't know, one random shot by a Cobra will easily take down.
Yeah, and it can be the lowest Cobra there is. Like, not any upgrades or anything can take down a Locust with no shields in one shot.
Yeah. Well, two. The first shot takes down its shield, the other one kills
I'm saying without shields.
Okay, yeah, without shields it's an instant kill.
Because if it's using its shields.
Yeah. Overall, if you're going to use the Locust, make sure you have enough force to protect it.
Yeah.
Like, have your leader run in there too, have some diversions in there, otherwise they're just going to target your Locust and your entire attack is rendered useless.
Yeah. And then let's go ahead and go over to the hall.
Well,
just real quick, we'll just kind of touch on the units. In the hall, there are the grunts. They are nowhere near as used as they are in the actual thing. They should have kind of had where you can have a lot of grunts, but a low amount of almost anything else. Grunts come with an elite, so that's...
Except if you're the Brute Chieftain, where that elite is switched with the Brute.
Yeah, and that can be pretty good. And actually, a fully upgraded grunt squad is actually pretty good to use. Just no one does it.
No.
And so they're decent. They can throw grenades and stuff like that, but it's
the
not
hull comes with the grunts, which we've just touched on. The jackals, which are the equivalent of flamethrowers for the humans, they're your anti-infantry.
Yeah, they're basically what you see in the actual game. They did a really good job when they did the jackals.
Yes.
They're good only against the infantry, and there are ones with carbines, and they have shields. Well,
you can also upgrade them to have beam rifles, which
and the beam rifles aren't instant kill, but they are really effective, and they are almost instant kill, because when they shoot in a squad, one guy falls over dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
But one shot can't kill 5 guys, so he has to take the time to shoot each individual guy.
And the final unit in the hall is the Hunter. That's your equivalent of the Cobra. Doesn't deploy, unfortunately. That'd be kind of cool. But it's your anti-vehicle.
And they did a good job against...
it completely chews vehicles up. I mean,
they kill them.
One Hunter squad, which comes with 2 Hunters, because Hunters always travel in pairs. One Hunter squad can take down a tank if it wants to.
Yeah, the good thing about Hunters are they're good almost against anything. They just can't do anything whatsoever against flying units.
Yes.
Which are its major weakness, and that's what makes it good. Overall it's a good unit, and
except
it has one. Yeah, and it just has one weakness that it can't do anything about, which causes you to have a variety, which is what needs to.
Which needs to happen instead of spamming, I don't know, one particular unit.
Yeah, and they're pretty good against bases too. It's just the problem is someone might teleport a full load of Hunters in while they have their hero right next to the base, and then that's a very newbie tactic, but effective.
Yes. Hey, let's just kind of touch on the factory and the summit. The factory, what you get in there is the Wraith. You get the Wraith, which is the Covenant battle tank. You know, their main armor besides the Scarab. You can upgrade it to where it has its own personal shield. Very effective, but annoying whenever it gets jacked by Spartans.
Yeah, basically the Wraith is what it is in the game.
It's balanced. It's balanced.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then we've already
talked about the Locust.
And then there's the Ghost.
The Ghost, that just sucks. Flat out, it sucks.
it's weak, but the main use of a ghost really for the Covenant is scouting, pretty much, and that's what it's used in Halo Wars is for scouting. Except since you know exactly where your opponent's going to be, scouting is not really used much anyway.
But which something that I found kind of interesting. They made it to where you can upgrade the Ghost, where it can have its own personal shield too.
Yeah, that was dumb.
The Ghost is weak enough, and with a shield, it's just a little stronger, but not much.
Yeah.
Right. The Summit. That is their air factory, really. You can get 3 units in there. The Banshee, which is really just your main air.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as Halo 3, really.
Yeah, so if you want to imagine the Banshee, just imagine Halo 3's Banshee.
Except, actually, now the pilots are actually smarter, so when they realize they're about to die, if you have it fully upgraded, they will go suicide into the nearest unit.
Yes.
As soon as you've taken out all its health, they just wreck right into the near unit.
Okay, the second unit is the Engineer. If you've read any of the Halo books, you'll know that the Engineer, it heals, like it can take apart any machine and put it back together again exactly the way it was. It is your scientist class, and its role in the Halo Wars game is it heals units, any unit,
including your allies units.
Yeah, including your allies units. The third and final unit you can get at the Summit is the Vampire, and that's your anti-air.
Mm-hmm.
Against anything but air, it's just really weak.
Yeah,
it's got like a little plasma rifle type deal that shoots, but it's not very strong.
No. The only thing good about it is it can literally do what its name implies, is it can suck life.
Yes, if you upgrade it.
Yes. And
you can press the Y button, and the unit that it's attacking, it'll shoot this little beam at it, and it'll be draining that unit's health and adding it to its own. So that comes in handy.
Okay, now that we've gone over that, there's just one thing that we'll touch on for only a minute.
Probably not even that much.
Yeah, probably not even that much. Is the overall, each group has their unique unit, which can only be built from the base. And overall, they actually did a pretty good job. On the human side, I think the guys should have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like, strength-wise, because for a unique unit, a lot of those were kind of weak.
For a unique unit, you need to have something that's, maybe a little stronger than the normal units.
Yeah, I think...
But, in fact, they made it weaker. Like, for Cutter, you've got the Elephant,
Cutter, they did
mobile barracks.
Yeah, they did a good job with the...
For Forge, you've got the Cyclops, that's your building killer. For Anders, you've got the Gremlin, that's just kind of like that just stalls units. It's good against infantry, because it has like a little Spartan laser type deal attached to it. But for the Covenant, Prophet of Regrets got the Honor Guard.
They did a good job.
They did a good job.
They did a good job.
The Brute Chieftain, you've got, of course, Brutes. They come in squads of 2. You can upgrade them to where they have jump packs, stuff like that.
They kind of did a good job. The only problem is
they're good early on, but after everyone starts getting upgrades, they're
just about useless.
And last but not least, the Arbiter. He just doesn't give a flip about his units, so he just attaches bombs to the back of them.
Suicide grunts.
Yes.
Except they don't make the noises. They just detonate.
They just run. They just run at you.
But they actually did a pretty good job with the suicide grunts.
Yeah.
They aren't very powerful against infantry or vehicles, or they're completely useless against air raids besides their plasma pistols, which cannot stall. They're mainly against buildings.
Yes.
And overall, I think they did a good job with Cutter and most of the Covenant, and then the rest of them kind of needed more added on to them.
Yeah. So, anyway, this is C9017 and Zerochaoswar. We'll be making some more videos soon about some more game reviews.
Our next thing will be ODST.
Yes.